Okay, today we're looking at phrasal verbs with. So lots of with on the board, and there are a lot of phrasal verbs with. I'm sure there are more than I can think of. Please, if you can think of any others, put them under the video with pleasure. It's always good to share vocabulary. So let's start with take something up with. This is a very particular phrasal verb. You only really use this when you're complaining about something. So maybe your soup is cold in the restaurant and you decide that you're going to take it up with the manager. You're going to take your problem up with the manager. You're going to take your issue up with the manager. And so you call a waiter and tell him that you'd like to take this up with the manager. So it's quite a formal sounding phrasal verb, which is rare. I would say just neutral rather than super formal, but it is used for complaints. Make do with is very similar to settle for on a previous video, and it's when you're content with something even though it's not the best option. Okay, so maybe at the restaurant you're content with just a plate of chips. You make do with a plate of chips instead of getting the most expensive thing. But it could be used in a variety of different situations, of course. So maybe you're out camping and you forget your tent and you have to make do with just a few cardboard boxes or a tree, a bush with a lot of leaves. You have to make do. You have to do the best with what you have. You make do with what you have. Okay, if you live with something, it could be used in the literal sense, of course. I live with my family. But if you say, I couldn't live with myself if I were a politician, something like that, that would mean I couldn't accept myself. I couldn't tolerate being that person. And we very often use it in that metaphorical sense. I couldn't live with myself if I were, like that. Or how could you live with that? How could you live with doing that? And it means, how could you accept yourself if you did something like that? How could you live with yourself? So that's another use of live with. It's also we also use put up with for tolerate. When you say I can't put up with his behaviour, or I can't put up with all this noise, it means I can't stand, I can't bear, I will not stand for this noise. I can't stand this noise. Okay, if you keep up with the rest of the class, that means you stay at the same level as the rest of the class. You could use this in a race. If you keep up with the other runners, you stay at the same level as the other runners. Or if you're in a car, if you keep up with your friends, you stay at the same level as your friends. If you catch up with someone, that means you were behind and then you reach the same level. So these two are very close, but it's just this one is when you're behind and then you reach the level again and you manage to catch up. So perhaps if you're playing football and you're 2-0 down, you need to catch up. You need to score some goals and catch up with your opponents. But we usually use it for races, actually, rather than football teams. But you certainly can use it for students as well. Okay, if you have it out with your boss, you confront your boss about some kind of problem that's been bothering you. But you could have it out with the teacher. If you have a problem with the teacher and you decide to ask them about something. Okay, if you get on with people, that means you have a good relationship with them. So I hope that you all get on with your brothers and sisters. In the States, they often say get along with as well, although I think in Britain maybe sometimes people say that. So just have a good relationship with this one. If your tie goes with your socks, it means it matches your socks. If the sofa goes with the wallpaper, it means it suits the room. They go well together, they match. These three are all connected to relationships, so I've put them together. Get off with, in the UK, when I was young, it used to mean kiss a girl passionately. And make out with is what I hear in the American shows, in American films, exactly the same as get off with. And hook up with doesn't mean kiss, it just means get to know someone better. And it sounds like maybe you did kiss, maybe you took the girl's phone number, or maybe she took yours. You hooked up with someone. It means you met someone and had some kind of romantic intrigue. Okay, if you say let's get it over with, it means let's finish something, and it's usually something unpleasant, and you want to finish it because it's unpleasant. So let's get it over with, let's finish it off. Okay, so this means to finish. If we come over here now, if you get away with a crime, it means you escape unpunished. You commit some kind of crime, but you escape unpunished. Maybe nobody catches you, or maybe they catch you, but they let you off. And that's another good phrasal verb. Let someone off the hook. It means to let someone go when they've done something wrong, without punishing them. Doesn't matter why, but it means let someone go without punishing them. So yeah, let someone off the hook. Okay, make off with, make away with. This is what robbers usually do, or criminals, and it's when they run away with the money, or with the whatever it is that they've stolen. So if you part with something, it means you're able to give it up. You're able to let go of it. Very often used in the negative, this phrasal verb of I couldn't part with my microphone, for example. It's not true, and I'd like to get a new one day. But yeah, part with, it's just when you're able to let go of something, when you're ready to give up something. Finish with, it means very often you can use this to mean to split up with a girl, or a girl when she splits up with a boy, she can say I'm finished with him, and it would mean they're breaking off relations. So please remember those phrasal verbs as well. If you do away with someone, it could even mean you kill someone. But if you do away with a law, then you abolish a law, you get rid of a law. So do away with something means get rid of something. If you say I could do with a drink, it just means I really need a drink. Or if you say I could do with a cup of tea, it means I really fancy a cup of tea. And it's very, very common phrase. If somebody comes up with a great idea, or they come up with a great suggestion, or they come up with a wonderful plan, it means they think of a great idea or a great suggestion. So very often used meaning to generate a plan or a suggestion or idea. It's very, very common. Please remember this one. If somebody comes out with some strange remarks or some ridiculous comments, it means they make some strange remarks or some ridiculous comments. So this phrasal verb collocates very well with remarks, comments, or phrases, maybe. He came out with some idiotic phrases, something like that. Okay, if you side with someone, then you take their side on a particular issue, or on some kind of question, you take their side. So you could side with your friend when he's having an argument with another friend of yours, and you could take his side. But you could just use it to mean to be in favour of someone's position, to support someone's position as well. So you may even be speaking politically and say, I side with this particular group because, for the following reasons. Okay, so on to toy with. If you toy with someone's feelings, then it means you play with their feelings. You can see the word toy there. It's there for a good reason. If you toy with someone, then you play with them. It's a very negative verb because it sounds like you are playing with them just for your own fun, and it's almost like they're an object as well. But it could be used in a neutral way. You can also toy with an idea, and it means you're playing with the idea. You're playing around with it, seeing if it's going to be a good idea or a bad idea for the future. So it can also be neutral. It's not just negative. Last one, if you play along with someone, you agree to go with their idea, to follow their idea or their plan for a certain period of time. Maybe somebody tells you something you don't believe, but you decide to play along with them in order to find out if they're lying or not. And so that would mean that, yeah, you agree to act like you believe them, and just in order to find out if they're lying or not. But it doesn't have to be in that kind of situation. Maybe you're child wants to play doctors and nurses, and you decide to play along with them for a little while just because you have some free time. And there it would mean just play the role, go with that idea, pretend to be whoever it is you're meant to be in this role play, and just for that limited period of time you play along, you go along with it. Okay, I hope that one's clear. Please ask me any questions under the video if you don't understand any of these, and if you have any more, put them under, and I hope to see you all soon. Thanks for watching.